Okay. Well, thanks, Amy, for putting this together. My name is Oliver Bergeron. I'm the owner of CI Destinations, and tonight we're going to talk about my one of my all-time favorite destinations, and that is the amazing French Riviera. Before we jump into these images, I mean, these are just fantastic. Let me share with you a little bit of information about me and CI Destinations. So CI Destinations, first of all, stands for Chamber International Destinations. We work exclusively with chambers of commerce with their travel programs all across the country. And I'm very proud to tell everybody tonight that we enjoy a 98% repeat business ratio. And the secret is it's all about, all in the details, making sure our travelers just have an exceptional experience while they're traveling with CI destinations in the chamber. Um, some special things about the French Riviera and this program is we are going to unpack one time and stay in the amazing city of Cairns and venture out every day, always coming back to the same great hotel. And we chose Cairns to be our home because it's so centrally located. I mean, it's a half hour from Nice, an hour from Monaco, about a half hour to Grasse. Saint Tropez is an hour and a half. So it's very, very centrally located. And all the tours that are highlighted on the brochure, this brochure, every single tour I'm talking about tonight, it's included in the price of the program. So you don't have to worry about any optional tours or things like that. Everything is already taken care of for you. And that's what our travelers, when they come back from our trips, they say that, gosh, Oliver, everything you said happened. And all I had to do was pack my bag and make sure I was at Dulles to catch the flight. Other than that, all the details are taken care of for you. So you don't have to worry about renting cars or making hotel reservations or making restaurant reservations or anything like that. All those details are taken care of for you. And that's some things, just a few things that the travelers love uh, about our program. So we're flying from Dulles and we'll have a change of planes somewhere along the way. Typically, it'll either be in Paris or Amsterdam. Um, I like to get our groups in on the earlier side on the first day. So you get a little bit more out of your first day. Upon arrival, you'll be met by your tour manager. And this program's fully tour managed. And what that means, you have the same person who's going to be taking care of you every single day of the trip. They're going to be your tour guide. They're also going to be your personal concierge. And at the end of the trip, you're going to call them a friend. The difference from a tour manager to a tour guide is truly night and day. To give you an example, you may have a tour of Monte Carlo one day, and you may have a tour guide, and that guide may be with you from 9 to 4, and at 4 o'clock, you're never going to see them again. Well, with CI Destinations, our programs are fully tour managed. So you have the same person with you every single day of the trip. And they are there to breathe life into this program and bring more enhancements to to your experience. They are truly there for you, and they're there to act not only as your guide, but like I said, your own personal tour concierge. So to keep the quality high, we've included what we call the Whisper system. And this is a wireless headset that you wear that allows you to hear your tour manager from up to 250 feet away. So you no longer have to huddle around your tour guide saying, what did she say? What am I missing? What are we supposed to be looking at? Those days are long gone. With the Whisper system, your experience is even more enhanced, and it's really all about the quality. We're traveling via deluxe motor coach, and this is where you say, all you have to do is show up because everything's taken care of for you. So we're via deluxe motor coach, and you'll have the same coach throughout the entire program. You don't have to worry about parking, renting a car, or things like that. Leave the driving to the professionals so we can take in all the sites. We're staying at the Eden Hotel, and this is a great 4-star city center property. City center is huge. You're centrally located, meaning when you walk out the front door of the hotel, you are in the heart of the city of Cannes. And can't say how nice having a city center hotel is. I always like to include a few shots of the public areas, of course, the bedrooms. Something special with the Eden Hotel. There's a couple of things that make it special, but one of them is it has its own indoor swimming pool, jacuzzi, as well as a spa on site. Another nice thing about the Eden Hotel, it is the only only four-star centrally located hotel that has its own private restaurant. Now let's talk about location. The Boulevard of Tono Cans, the main avenue that runs through the north and south of the city. It's a 2-minute walk from our hotel. Something we're going to get to experience on our city tour of Kansas. We're going to go through the Palace de Festivals. It's the major film festival held in Cannes annually, and it's world renowned. It actually started in 1949, the Cannes International Film Festival. And this is something we'll be touring in our city tour. Sticking with the location, because the location of the hotel is so phenomenal. A 5-minute walk puts you in the lovely harbor of La Creuset. It's one of the most elegant seaside promenades in the world. And like I said, just a stone's throw from our hotel. Now, if you go out the front door of the hotel, you turn right. In 3 minutes, you'll be in La Suquette Beach, one of the major beaches right in Cannes, and amazing restaurants right on the sand. So, and dining is always a highlight. So if you're looking for some of the best seafood or the French pastries, this is one area where your tour manager will truly shine. And that she knows the best restaurants. And equally important, she knows which restaurants you may not really care to experience. The ones that are designed to feed the masses. Our tour managers are there to give you that guidance so that you get to have an authentic south of France experience while you're dining. So on our first day touring, this day is going to start a little later because we've flown in the day before. We'll sleep in a little bit. Right around 10 or 11 or so, we'll make our way down to the dock and we'll take a little boat ride just like this over to the largest of the Larian Islands, and that's the island of Saint Honoret. And we'll have a full tour of the island. You also get it to gain a different vantage point, a vantage point from the water's edge to the south of France. Always a highlight. And what travelers love about this program is it has the perfect balance, really, of structured time as well as leisure time. That means, like when we do the backroads tour of Cannes, once we get back from Saint Honoret, we'll have some free time. So really the perfect balance of structured touring and free time. Usually it's about 50% touring, 50% free time, where we get to enjoy the cities we've just toured. And the free time is an equal highlight as of the touring. And if you like bocce ball and want to partake in one of the fun all-time sports in the south of France, we have time to experience one of the local favorites. The next morning, after we have a full American hot buffet breakfast, we're going to make our way over to Saint-Tropez. And this is a wonderful city situated right on the Azorean coastlines. And it wasn't really up until the 20th century to where Saint-Tropez really became recognized. And one of the things that brought it popularity was the filming of Brigitte Bardot in the film And God Created Women. We'll have a full tour of Saint-Tropez, and then we'll have some time for lunch on our own in the city square of Saint-Tropez. And then we'll make our way back to Cannes. But, folks, this is going to be a special experience, goosebump experience. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to stop at an often forgotten World War II landing site that on August 15th, 1944, 20,000 GIs from the Texas 36th Infantry stormed the beach of Drummond. And this is a tribute to all of the fallen soldiers. I've been here many times, and it's always a very moving experience. It's just a goosebump experience, and everybody will just about have a tear in their eye. It's very moving. The next day, we're going to go over to the region of Grasse. And where Grasse is the mecca of the perfume industry. 95% of Europe's perfumes come from the region of Grasse. And we're going to learn all about the perfumery as we go through the Fragonard perfumery in Grasse. We're going to learn that it takes over 100 essences to make up the likes of Chanel No. 5. While we're in the perfumery, we'll meet they call him the Nose, and that is his official title, the Nose. It's equivalent to the president or a CEO, but he's the one who's responsible for making these amazing creations. So we are in the land of perfumeries. The flower markets are in an abundance. They're just about everywhere. And something that I love about making your hotel room your home, because we're unpacking one time. This is something my wife does. You know, when we land, what I recommend doing is go shopping your first day. Grab a case of water, some snacks, some fresh flowers. Make your hotel room your home. You are in the south of the France where all these perfumes are made and amazing flower markets. And something my wife would do every other day, she'd have a new fresh bouquet of flowers in our room, because the flower markets, like I said, are just in abundance. So later this afternoon, we're going to jump from Grasse. This is going to be like right around 4 or 5 or so. We're going to go from Grasse to the walled city of Mougins. And this gives just spectacular views of the Riviera below. And the draw to tonight's event is we're going to enjoy an included dinner at the restaurant in Mougins, where the food is delectable, and the groups absolutely love this. You get great food. And, you know, if you were doing this program on your own, you may not even know this exists. So with CI Destinations, while we're touring the south of France, we're going to uncover all of the highlights. And this is a great day. And every day is really designed to be different than the day before. Now we're going to wake up, enjoy that breakfast, and now we're going to make our way over to San Remo, Italy. So today's going to be the day you want to grab your passport, because we're going to be going into Italy, Liguria in the Provence. And one of the markets we'll experience in San Remo will be the leather markets, because in Italy, they're known for their leather goods, their purses, their belts, boots, things of that nature. We'll take in the Church of San Remo. And as you're going through San Remo, you can't help but notice just how clean it is. And that's the whole region. The whole program is so clean. The folks are very gracious and welcoming. And every day is really designed to be a highlight. And I can't tell you how nice it is for you that you're unpacking one time, because then you go back to Cannes and you enjoy dinner out on the streets, maybe in the harbor, maybe along the beach. The next morning, we're going to make our way over to Monaco. This is only an hour away, you know, so we'll leave right around 9 and we'll be in Monaco right around 10. And it's a sovereign microstate. It's less than 1 square mile, about half the size of New York Central Park. And the wealth in this area is nothing short of astonishing. We'll take in the Grand Casino, and this is home to Sean Connery and 007, where he really made his fame. And as you're looking at this image, you might think you are at a Concours d'Elegance car show. Folks, this is the parking lot for the Grand Casino, which is right here. Another thing that Monte Carlo is famous for is the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. And this has been running since 1929. We're actually going to see the course, the Formula One course for the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. Monte Carlo is one of my favorite areas. And now we're going to take in, still in Monte Carlo, going to take in the 19th century Romanesque Church of St. Nicholas, consecrated in 1875. And here's one of our groups. This was actually taken this past October. So you can see the weather was fantastic. This group was there. I think they flew on October 23rd. And they came back right around November 5th. They had a fantastic time, but the weather was exceptional. I think their average was right around 71 degrees the entire trip. So inside the Church of St. Nicholas, the Cathedral of St. Nicholas, lies the resting place of Princess Grace Kelly. And she actually died on September 14th, 1982. And right outside of the cathedral are the gardens devoted to Princess Grace Kelly. We're also going to take in the Grimaldi Castle, and it's right near the casino. And this was started construction in 1309 by Rainier Grimaldi. And we'll experience the changing of the guards, which happens sharply at 12 noon. So we've enjoyed a full tour of Monaco and Monte Carlo, the cathedral, the Grimaldi Castle. Now it's time for some free time in this amazing city, where you get to taste the culture and experience the locals. I call this Provence in a nutshell. And this is just right adjacent to the Grimaldi Castle. Yeah, this is a fantastic day. You're starting to get the feel out how every day is truly different from the day before. And then we'll make our way back to Cannes and we'll enjoy the evening. The next morning, we're going to wake up, enjoy that hot buffet breakfast again. And now we're going to go 30 minutes away into Nice. And Nice really became popular in the 1950s because this is where all the local artisans would populate. And they came here because they say there was 1,000 shades of color in the sunsets of Nice. Interesting note about the shoreline here. This beach is the Pebble Beach. There's no sand on this beach. It's all pebbles. And you'll get to meet the local artisans. Now, when I travel, I'm not a big shopper. I always like to purchase things that really remind me of my experiences. And on my first trip there, I brought home about, I think, let me look at them, 5 different of these oil paintings made from a local artist. I had them framed and they sit in my office and I can look at them and go, gosh, my first trip there was like 24 years ago. And I remember it like yesterday. And I look at these pictures every day. And what an amazing city, what an amazing experience. And that's the type of things that I like to purchase. So in Nice, we'll also see the Negresco Hotel, which you see here. And the Negresco Hotel is a 5-star, 5 Michelin diamond rated hotel. And we'll take in the outdoor markets of Nice. You'll see the antique shops, the perfumeries, as well as the flower markets. We're also going to take in the largest Russian Orthodox church outside of Russia is in Nice, and it's St. Nicholas's Orthodox Church. So from Nice, we're going to make our way over to St. Paul de Vence. Now, this is another one of my favorite walled cities. And again, if you're doing this program on your own, you may just skip it because you may never have heard of St. Paul de Vence. But it's absolutely breathtaking. It's a small walled city, and what its claim to fame is the local artist. And we'll get to experience the art galleries, the antique shops, local little restaurants, sidewalk cafes. And when I mentioned the local artists really made it famous, it has the likes of Chagall, Matisse, and Picasso, all called St. Paul de Vence at one time in the 50s, their home. And then tonight, we're going to enjoy a farewell dinner. And what I love about our farewell dinners and what I love about our chamber trips is, we start off, not everybody knows everybody, but by the end of the trip, we're one big happy chamber family. And I'm amazed to look and see where chambers have taken travelers worldwide and the relationships that they've made along the way. And so we'll enjoy a nice farewell dinner. And as we go around the room, people talk about their different highlights, and everybody's highlights are going to be entirely different of each other's, and they're all going to be equally amazing. And then we'll snap one of our group shots, and the next morning we'll jump on a plane, make our way back home, taking with us just wonderful memories of the French Riviera. And so it's the holiday time of year, so I always kind of throw things up a little bit. I'd just like to take a quick minute and wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And what I'll do now, I'll open it up for questions. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I can start.
Sure.
You said the transportation to and from the airport is not included.
Correct. So yeah, the transportation to Dulles and back from Dulles is not included. Okay. Sometimes chambers will put that together for the travelers, and then whatever the cost of the motor coach is, it's divided amongst the travelers. Something we can work out down the road if that's something you guys would be interested in.
Okay.
That is something that we've looked into as a chamber too, with Virginia Rides, trying to get a bus to take us up to Dulles so that we don't have to worry about parking.
Okay, cool.
That is so nice. And I'm excited to hear that, Amy, because the chambers in Virginia, they really take good care of their travelers. I work with over 150 chambers, and I think there's, on one hand, there's 6 now that take care of or work with transportation, getting their travelers to and from. Because when you land in Dulles, if you're on a motor coach home, you just will take a quick nap rather than navigating the roads to get you back home.
And then what's the actual price? And then does that include insurance?
So the actual price is $36.99. And that is if you book by March 31st. After March 31st, the price does go up $100. The price does not include insurance, as insurance prices varies depending on what your age is. I highly recommend insurance. I recommend a company called TravelX. And if you'd like to learn more about them, you can go to cidestinations.com, and in the upper right corner, there's an insurance tab. It talks all about their different programs and policies and things. But I like them for a lot of good reasons. I'll just share a few of them with you. One is they allow me to get involved and file claims on my traveler's behalf. They cover pre-existing conditions. If you purchase your travel insurance within 21 days of when we receive your deposit. They also cover your immediate family. Now, this is huge. They cover your immediate family. So what does that mean? That means your parents, your siblings, your spouse, and your children. They don't have to be traveling with you, but should something happen to your immediate family for a covered medical reason while you're traveling, you're on the first plane home on TravelX's dime. Should something happen to your immediate family that causes you to cancel, well, they're going to cover the cancellation penalties for you. So there's some really good things about TravelX that I like. One quick short story is I had a group flying to Dublin once, and a gentleman on his first night in Dublin slipped and fell and broke his hip, had to have emergency surgery, and then ended up being in Dublin for 2 weeks, and then being medevaced from Dublin to LAX. And the total claim was $129,000. And TravelX wrote the check. They are a primary coverage. They aren't a secondary. So they wrote that check so that traveler wouldn't be out a dime other than what it cost for his insurance. But if you guys ever have any questions about insurance, because it varies depending on the company, my number is on the inside bottom right page. You can give me a call and I can help you with your insurance questions. Any other questions?
Yes, Lisa has asked in the chat, what is the price for a single traveler?
So the single traveler, there's a single supplement, and the single supplement is $650 per person. Single rooms in Europe in general, the hotels, they have limited numbers of them. The single rooms are smaller, and the single rooms cost more. And I always like to be upfront with our travelers so there's no surprises. It's not like you're staying at a Marriott here in the States where you have a king bed, a big room. The single rooms are smaller and they cost more.
And we get one check bag.
So you get one check bag per person is included in your price. Your check bag cannot exceed 50 pounds, nor can it exceed 62 linear inches. So you measure the width, the length, and the depth. Make sure those total is 62 or less. Then you're also allowed to have an item of a personal nature, commonly referred to as a 21-inch Pullman, small bag on wheels that goes in the overhead compartment of the plane. And then an item of a personal nature like a briefcase, camera mat, camera bag, or backpack. Now, prior to departure, usually 2 to 3 weeks prior to departure, we'll do a document meeting where everybody will get it's about 20 pages or so, your own booklet, and we'll go through the flight schedules. We'll go through the daily itinerary. We'll talk about luggage. We'll talk about currency, electricity, cell phones, anything and everything you can imagine pretty much is covered at that meeting. It gets all your last minute questions answered.
That was 2 more of my questions. Like cell service and like Wi-Fi, like how does all that work over there?
So Wi-Fi at the hotel is free. Most restaurants and cafes, Wi-Fi is free. Cell phones, what I do is I just buy the international plan from my provider, which is Verizon.
Okay.
And it's usually about $10 a day.
Okay. So I just worry, like, if you get separated from someone, can you call whoever for
So
help?
if you get separated from someone in that 20-page booklet, there's actually my cell phone. So if something happens and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, you can call me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week while you're traveling.
And that's something, Megan, that we at the chamber have thought about a lot too. And so likely before we travel, we'll have everybody put into something like WhatsApp. That way we can communicate with each other and I can send reminders like, hey guys, the bus leaves at 8 in the morning or things like that. And that way we're all on the same page.
Yeah, and the WhatsApp is great. It's a free app that allows you to communicate without using without being charged on your cell phone.
You just have to be hooked to Wi-Fi for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Gotcha.
It's an app that you download. And so whether or not everybody gets an international plan on their cell phone, I'll still be able to be in communication with each other.
And then I'm in communication, of course, with Amy as well as the tour manager um, the entire time.
And then I guess you would cover it later, but the currency, you explain all that. Like, do we have to
So the
have
currency,
actual money or can we just use cards?
you can just use cards. So the short answer is you can just use your Visa, your MasterCard, and your ATM card. The long answer is that in France they use the euro. So what you want to do is go to an ATM in France, then it'll dispense the euro, withdraw your daily limit, which is usually 300 euros or so, and that should last you 3 to 5 days, depending on what you purchase. And I will cover that again at the meeting. But the exchange rate right now is very strong. The dollar is stronger than I've seen it in probably 10 years. Today, a dollar is buying 95 cents of a euro, so it's almost at parity. Um, that means $10 buys 9.50, $100 buys 9.95. So it's very strong. So it's a great time to travel.
I imagine a lot can change between now and October, but is it possible to give like an average, like for those meals that we're on our own, what an average cost of a meal be? Like, how much should we budget for our meals when we're out on our own?
So I would say lunches 10 to 15, and it's a nice lunch. And for dinners, 15 to 25.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's not very expensive in regard to the restaurants, but the restaurants are all, for the most part, boutique restaurants and a lot of great Mediterranean flavor, a lot of great seafood.
He probably didn't include the wine.
Now, wine's another addition.
I assumed that that was just the food, not the wine.
And are you actually going on the trip?
You know, I do not go on the trip, and there's a great reason why. So I'm the owner of the company, and you want someone back home available should the wheels fall off, meaning a flight gets canceled. Um, like I had a group once go from Portland to France, and there was a medical emergency on the plane. It wasn't with our travelers, thank God, but they got rerouted to Detroit instead of Amsterdam, and they had to spend the night in Amsterdam. So that meant by the time they landed, I had to get them a hotel. I had to get them a coach to the hotel. I had to get them on flights from Detroit to Nice, and they all had to happen in before they landed. And so that's the reason I don't travel with the groups, is you want someone back here who can take care of the groups while they're traveling. And that's not a regular occurrence by any means. Any other questions?
Well, I think while we're on the call, the deposit is how much?
So the deposit is $450 per person. And it needs to be payable to CI Destinations. How do you register? You complete the registration form on the back of the brochure and send that into Amy at the chamber. She'll forward that to us, and then we'll send out a confirmation packet welcoming you to the trip with, frequently asked questions, passport information, as well as travel insurance information, and then the point of contact. Should you have any questions, person to contact. And the program's open to friends and family of the chamber. So, if you have friends that maybe they live in LA or Denver, Salt Lake City, Orlando, or maybe even Fresno, that's where I'm at. If we can fly them from their preferred cities, they don't need to take the round trip ticket from Fresno to Dulles. We'll fly them from their preferred cities. It may cost a little more, but it's a better value than buying a round trip ticket from LA to Dulles or Orlando to Dulles or wherever. It's a few $100s more typically. But like I said, it's open to friends and family. And if you want to fly from a different airport, just note that on your reservation form, what airport you'd rather fly from. And if you want to extend your trip or fly in early or have special requests, just write the word custom on your reservation form as well. We'll reach out to you, create a dialogue and find out what your custom needs are. That's one of the things that our travelers absolutely love about us, is how we work with each individual traveler.
That's great. And we have a couple questions coming into the chat. So Lisa has asked, what is the typical size of a group? And we have a goal at the chamber, but I don't know if you want to answer that before I do.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So our goal is to have 30 people. I think that's a great size group for us. And so we're hoping for 30. And then
That's about our average size. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Kathy's asked, I may have missed it. Is there a payment plan?
If you would like to make payments, that's absolutely fine. What we will do is, when you get your confirmation packet, you'll have our contact information and our address. And if you want to send in, I don't know, $200 or $300 or $400, whatever payment plan you like, you can send that in on a monthly basis. And then when the bill is due, your final bill is due 120 days prior to departure. For those folks who have made a payment plan, whatever payments you made will reflect on that final invoice.
That's great. Thank you. And then is there an age restriction?
There's not an age restriction. Our average travelers are usually, I'd say like 35 to 65. We typically don't allow infants on board or on our trips. I think the youngest we've had is, 17 or 16.
Okay. And can you switch out who goes if someone can't make it?
Unfortunately not. Because once we give the airlines names, they don't allow changes.
Amy, is there a minimum that you guys are gonna have to make this a
No,
go?
so there's no minimums, and that's one of the things with CI Destinations is we have multiple chambers promoting the trip, so there's multiple chambers on that departure date. So if you have two, then you would just get to go with another group on that date on the advertised Culpeper brochure price and date.
Is there a way to submit the application online?
I could email it to you, but I don't have a fillable form.
And so we have the form at the chamber. If you need the registration form, we can get that sent over to everyone.
And Amy, you could put the link in the chat if you like to that brochure.
Yes.
And then you can include my 800 number if you'd like, if people have any questions. And that number is 888-660-7397. Let's end with a picture of it. That's one of my favorite pictures.
What other, this is not related to this trip, but where other locations do you like put groups? What do you set up tours for?
So we go to the French Riviera. We have 3 different programs that take in Italy. We do Eastern Europe, Greece, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, Scotland. I think that's about it.
Sounds like enough.
Yeah, we don't do the world, and my business model is, I believe if you specialize, you'll offer an exceptional product. So that's why we do about a dozen different destinations.
And we have another question that just came into the chat. To be clear, then you would need to register the person that's going at the beginning, or when is that deadline if
Yeah,
we were
you
to
would want to
switch?
register the person that is going at the beginning.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
We've
Any
got a
other?
couple more people typing.
Oh, good. So the early booking deposit, I get a lot of people asking, so do I need to make my final payment by March 31st? No, you just need to make your deposit of $450 by March 31st, and that will get you in the early booking price.
Yeah, Amy, I couldn't get the link to work.
Ooh, okay. I couldn't figure out how to attach it as a PDF. So what might be easier is that I email everyone who's on this call with it.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely sorry about that. Any other questions?
A lot of good questions tonight.
We're excited.
The French Riviera, just saying the word makes you excited. And I'm amazed because, like I said, my first trip was 23 years ago, and I have those paintings in my office. I look at them every day, and every day I think, gosh, how lucky I was to get to go there, and what an amazing place that is. And that's what I love about travel is, the travel, it doesn't have a shelf life. It's going to stay with you forever, your experiences.
All right, well, nobody's typing, so that might be all of our questions.
Okay. Well, Amy, thank you so much for putting this together. And folks, I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season this year. And if you guys have any questions between now and then, just feel free to give me a call.
Thank you very much, Oliver. And we will record. We did record, excuse me, this. And so I will have a finished video and I will send that. I'm going to go ahead and send out the registration form now to everybody who was on the call. But then I will also send out the video and we'll have that available on our YouTube and kind of be pushing that out if you would like to share that with a friend.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your time. Thank you, Oliver, for the presentation.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great
Have a Merry
night.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.